And we're rolling. We're live. Well, not literally live, but
live-ish.
the equipment's set up.
Good morning, Tulsa.
Good morning, afternoon, evening. What does he say on the Truman Show? Good morning, good evening. No, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I'm not that old.
You haven't seen the Truman Show?
I don't even know what that is. Is that with Ace Ventura? I mean, Jim
No.
Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Okay.
And he's in the fake world. Everyone's an actor.
But I didn't watch it. I do know what you're speaking of, clearly, because I referenced him as Ace Ventura. And then Jim Carrey.
I don't know what Ace Ventura
That's his movie. You don't know about that?
Mm-mm.
Bro. We got two movies to swap out.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to Tulsa Uncut.
Yeah,
we are
welcome.
here with the one and the only Trent Pollard with Pollard Media Company,
Mm-hmm.
PMC for short.
Yep.
And we're going to be bringing you a little nugget that we've been working on behind the scenes. Trent, let's talk about it.
The podcast?
I mean, let's
Or
not be too
what else?
overzealous, but yes, the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. We both have felt like this is missing here in this market, or just in Tulsa, just in general. I say market. I'm so into the real estate stuff, but so I think it will fill a void, maybe, if we do it well. If we do it well enough.
When we do it well enough, I have no doubt that it's going to be great. Let's talk a little bit about kind of how this came about.
It was a conversation at the roof. What restaurant was that?
That was the sidecar on the rooftop.
Sidecar.
Right when they had
Yes.
just kind of opened in Jinx.
Yep.
If you haven't been, you should check it out.
Yeah, that's a sweet place. Yeah, that's where it was. That's where the idea was born. And there was like 1 million names for the podcast. Like so many names.
We went through so many. It was like 2 weeks of bantering back and forth names.
Random text messages with random names. Yeah.
And we finally landed on Tulsa Uncut.
Yeah, which was your idea, right? Or was it someone that you were talking to?
No, it was totally my idea, bro.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, I'm a brainiac about stuff like that.
It's a really good name.
Yeah, I like it.
I was surprised it didn't exist.
Right. And thank you for doing the due diligence.
Yeah.
So basically, kind of what happened, just so you guys can get a little bit of an idea, we're sitting there and we're just talking about real estate industry, just industry as a whole throughout Tulsa. And there's so many great places, such as Sidecar that's popping up,
Yeah.
or High Five is fixing to be open in Jinx. They just kind of released that on the news.
High Five.
It's going to be a high end, kind of like gaming area with bowling. They've got the pretty leather tufted couches and all the
really?
fun things. And so there's so many new places that pop up throughout Tulsa Metro, Tulsa proper, outside of Tulsa, that we feel like creating platforms and letting people know, whether you're in the real estate industry or any other industry, these are great places to go visit, check out, see, hold events, and also maybe talk a little bit about real estate.
Yeah.
Because that's a huge driving market for both of us. I know for me in the title industry and
Right.
all the greatness you do.
Greatness.
It is greatness.
Oh yeah, we should mention Titan Title, right? That's
I totally did that.
who you're. Did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I was about to say I felt like you mentioned my business, but you didn't mention a Titan. Okay, yeah. So Titan Title and Closing. This podcast is powered by Titan Title and Closing.
And Pollard Media Company.
Titan Title and Closing. That's the name.
That is
That's
correct.
like the official name.
That is the official
Okay,
name.
because a lot of people just say Titan.
I mean,
Or
that's
Titan
all.
Title.
That's all you need to know. Hashtag Titan Tough, baby. You got it. No, but we are a title and closing company. We have several offices. We do residential and commercial, but more so than that, we like to help others with their business, grow their business, market their business, think outside of the box in any circumstance. And this is another way. I had the pleasure of meeting the one and only Trent Pollard. I love saying that. Guru at all the things media, really, from headshots making you feel relaxed, super chill, to droning and sucheries, videos. I mean, like, this guy knows what he's doing, and it's fantastic.
You're so good at gassing people up. Good Lord.
I mean, that was my Harley sound. No, but you really are. And so I think this is a great opportunity to start showcasing others. And, you know, we rise by lifting others. That was one of the things I remember that we talked about that night. And with your experience and knowing this side of it, a lot of people have a lot of things that they can offer general public as far as expertise, knowledge from not just real estate industry, but also we have, some people from hormone replacement therapy. We have people coming to talk about mental illness. So we have different speakers that we want to definitely share, but they don't have the things that they need to create a podcast, whereas this is your baby.
Yeah, this is a good outlet for it. And that's the main point of it, is for business owners to come on here and not just talk about their expertise and their business, but about themselves in a long form type of discussion, and kind of humanize themselves to their client base, and just get some marketing material from us. You have something interesting to say, we'll cut it into a cool short clip and send it to you. Like, hey, you should post this on your, Facebook or whatever. It's good. But I think what's good about podcasting is it's not a scripted commercial that you put out on the internet. It's just a long form. Like, you can't fake it on a long conversation podcast.
Right.
People get to see who you are, your personality, and people hire people because they like them.
Yeah.
More than if they like their work.
It's the authentic relationship, and it's taking, down the fake image of, look, everything is beautiful and perfect and fantastic, and don't you love my filter?
Right.
To let's have a real conversation about how I got into X, Y, and Z, or what I really care about, or this is a thought that, I'm having, or whatever those things are. So it creates that personal relationship that's deeper and more meaningful.
Right. Exactly.
Which I absolutely I love. So, can you tell us a little bit more about Trent?
Oh, okay. What do you want to do? Like where I was born?
Well,
what do you want to know?
What made you interested in media as a whole? But what is your, they always say the cliche, like, what is your why? And I mean, aside from obviously providing for my family, which we all know, like, what is your deeper why? Like, why is this your passion?
I think what it is I get a weird fulfillment of working, like building something with other people, building something with others, and it becoming, it's so hard to explain. Like having salaried employees relying on me or the business that we're building, I get a weird fulfillment from that. Like they're feeding their families because of what we're building out here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my main that's what I'm obsessed with. I just obsess over that idea of, like, I want more employees. I want to grow it bigger, but in an organic way, and then have all these people selflessly come together, build something unique and cool, and as a bonus, that provides.
So that's really interesting. I shared the other day on a social media platform this thing about very, very often you don't hear the title sower, but it's actually like a whole thing. People want to harvest all this stuff, but not many people want to be the sower. And how do you expect to harvest when you are not sowing? Right. And so it's like with what you're doing, it's you enjoy the harvest, but you enjoy the sowing more. It's sowing and then seeing, wow, look at the reward that's come from all these due diligence things to make this system work. It's being like the master gardener, but instead of flowers, we're talking about people, lives, businesses, things that actually have fruit to dynamically shift someone's livelihood.
Right.
And I think that's super duper dope.
Yeah.
In every way.
So yeah, it's hard for me to, I guess, articulate it. But yeah, I'm obsessed with creating and building, and it has nothing to do with money.
Right.
It's weird. It's just, I don't know what it is. I'm just obsessed in that weird way. And I built, got to a certain point where I was like, okay, now I need more people to help me. And it just keeps growing and growing. Money's a side effect. Everyone benefits from it. But yeah, so that's...
But it's not the driving force. It's actually seeing the baby grow.
Yeah.
Each business baby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of people will like ask for like business advice from me, which I think is hilarious because I don't see myself as like a business type of person. But I always tell people, if your motivation is the money, it's probably not going to work out, because it takes a lot of, like when I got started, I did a lot of free work, a lot of you just kind of have to abuse yourself and live a rough life, especially starting a business. And you have to be sick enough in the head to enjoy it. I
mean, I'm down with the sickness, bro. For real. Can we insert that song there? Just kidding.
Play.
No, but it goes back to, if money is your driving force, stop looking at that. It's what you can give others. I always go back to Zig Ziglar. We grow by helping others grow. We win by helping others win. It should never be a monetary thing, because monetary, like, why?
Right.
But if you help others get to where they're trying to go, eventually you want for nothing.
Right.
Because everyone's succeeding, everybody's winning around you, and it's the giving the step up. It's not a handout, it's not a freebie, it's helping them genuinely grow something that they're passionate about, or maybe that they don't know. We had a guy who was in the real estate industry, and every day, I'm not kidding, he was like, I really hate my job. He just didn't he wasn't wired for it. I'm like, okay, so we have a long chat. What are you passionate about?
He's a realtor.
He was, And he's like, so what are you, I'm asking him, like, what are you passionate about? Well, I'm not passionate about this. Okay, well, what are you passionate about? Well, I love photography. I love doing all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get to explore that now.
Yeah.
And helping and watching him unlock his passion and unlock the joy in his life again, and not feel frustrated, not feel cornered, but go and experience. Like, we get one shot at life. I mean, some people believe we get multiple, and that's totally fine, but like, whatever. But the life, like, where I met you today, like, one.
Yep.
And if you're not doing something that's fulfilling your soul and helping others, what are you doing really? Chasing a dollar bill?
Right. And you'll be miserable.
Yeah.
You'll be so miserable. Yeah. Before I I had a day job before this, and, a big revelation for me was, I'm like 26, sitting in my office, or like just talking to people, and it's just, if you just looked around the office, there's all these, miserable office drones who, we called it the golden handcuffs, because the benefits were really good, the salary was good, the retirement, all that, and it's like you would be silly to leave that.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad gave me a really hard time when I left, but like, I look around, I'm like, is it really worth 30, 40, 50 years here and like hating your life, so you can have a couple $1 million in your retirement when you leave, so that you can spend the last 20 years of your life comfortable? Or should you just kind of like jump in the water and see what happens?
Or if you even make it that long, because the stress and the depression and the deadlines and the non-fulfillment make you absolutely miserable.
Oh, yeah.
I think that that's a really good point in the sense of, being chained to your job. That shouldn't really be a thing. No. I can say, like, I wake up every single day super pumped about my job. Waking up and knowing that I have the opportunity to impact someone's life, to help them with their business, to help them with, their closing, whatever the dynamic is that day, it's ever changing. But I know I wake up every day loving my job. And what we're doing with Tulsa Uncut is trying to showcase and help people find that passion wherever that is.
Yeah. We're here to serve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, even this podcast is not motivated by money. Like, no. we're just like, no, we're just going to do it. And I'm sure it'll be super successful. And a couple years down the road, it's going to be like, dang, we're getting like passive money from like YouTube. Like, now what do we do? Like, well, we'll go buy a studio or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not thinking about money at all. We're just wanting to serve, have a platform for people to talk, and, just become a little bit more humanized. Were you talking about Kevin?
I mean, I'm not putting him on blast, but
I don't think he would mind. I love Kevin.
He is fantastic.
He's awesome.
And his photography skills are legit.
Yeah. It's so well, and it's like so like, I can tell just by looking at his shout out to Kevin, by the way. I can tell just by looking at his photos that he's like has an artistic eye.
For sure.
Like, very artistic, and even in his editing. And it's just cool to see, like, you watch in like a couple years, he's gonna be his Instagram's gonna be amazing.
When he plays with his angles. So like the first time we did a shoot and he's like, crouching down on the ground, like crouching tiger.
Right.
And I'm like, what are we doing,
Yeah.
bro? He's like, I just got to get this perfect angle. And I'm like, okay,
You do you.
you
Yeah,
do
I
you. And then
trust
he's
you.
like, lean forward, pull your hair. And I'm like, oh, and now he's telling me how to fix my, love you, bro.
Yeah.
And all the pictures came out pretty dope, except for the ones that I thought I was going to do my own thing. And, that didn't really work out.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm like, I know my angles. I did not. They were not so awesome.
That's funny.
So I think it'll be a good thing. Big question. What if people want to come on the show, on the podcast, and they want to talk, but they've never done it? They're scared. They don't know what to talk about. What are we offering? Let's talk a little bit about what we're offering as far as helping them enter into. How does that work? What does that look like?
Oh man. So basically like advice on how to get over fears of like your own voice and being on camera? Is that what you're kind of asking?
Kind of, yes. But like, how would they go about reaching us, to say, hey,
yeah.
I want to come on, but I don't really know what to expect. Where are we shooting? Let's tell everyone a little bit about kind of where we're at, what they can expect.
Okay, yeah. So we're at Pollard Media's headquarter office. We're in Catoosa. We have a podcast set up here, and if you want to come on, if you have a small business, just email me or Lauri.
So at the end of the podcast, what you're saying is there'll be a clip, a thing that has how to contact people.
We'll put a little graphic up or something, how to contact us. Yeah, just email us, and I don't know, if you have a business, you have a bakery or salon, I don't know. If you're a realtor.
If you're a lender, if you're insurance, if you are a doctor, if you want to talk about mental health, that is kind of one of the big issues that I know that we definitely want to tap on.
That would be great.
Because that's a thing, especially when we're talking, holidays, coming into the new year, coming into the just economy as it is right now, when interest rates are high, just there's so much going on in the world we live in.
Yeah.
And so mental health is definitely a very big platform that we want to be able to share and talk about it and be real about it. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. The world is kind of a bummer if you watch the news.
I don't watch the news, but I do get the little Twitter like, hey, check out that this happened.
Yeah.
And those are kind of, I'm really tempted to take those off too.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I mean,
I just read some, like I have newsletters that email me from a couple different publications, and I'll just skim it usually every morning just to kind of know what's going on. But yeah, usually a bummer.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, we're going to try to bring a little bit more of happiness and joy.
Yeah.
And definite, like, hey, you're not alone, but like, let's not stay in the bottom of the barrel too long.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. If there is topics that people want to discuss or anything, I know that in the future, which there'll be a whole podcast on this, so don't get too excited, but there will be some opportunities where people can come in and learn more about how to do podcasts, not just from the auditory, but if they want to go more into the visual side, et cetera, et cetera. But that's in the future.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions about how to set up a podcast, I'm an open book. I don't play my cards close to my chest. I'll tell you all the equipment we have.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah, exactly.
On certain things anyway. Okay, so what else do you got for me? What's going on here in Catoosa? Can you tell me the top 3 things in Catoosa? Because I'm not familiar with this area.
Well, we have the Blue Whale. You got to visit the Blue Whale. 2 of my close friends are the head and assistant basketball coach for the boys basketball team at the high school.
Okay.
So I'm really big on that. And then we have the Hard Rock, and Pollard Media is here, which is a huge deal.
Can we get everybody cheering?
We actually don't even have a sign on the building yet.
I mean, there is a sign, but it says something about a fitness place not being here.
No, yeah, there's a pharmacy behind us.
Pharmacy, yeah.
And everyone comes to our door thinking we're the pharmacy. So yeah, we got to get a sign up.
I mean, you can get a dose of reality here. That's about all though. What? Too soon? Too soon
I
for
like
that?
it.
Sorry. Corny mom jokes. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, I'm into them. I do the dad jokes.
So did you see my fantastic reel the other day that my daughter called me cringy about? It made me sad.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I was like, just wait until you hear about this podcast. She's really going to think I'm super cringy. Yeah, I did a podcast with Angelina Johnson's voiceover, the I Will Cut You thing. It was pretty funny. And then I got this notification from Facebook that basically was like, you're in trouble because this goes against community standards.
Oh, really?
I'm like, but it's an approved reel.
Right.
Like, I don't understand what had happened here.
That's funny. Did it get taken down?
No, they said, we understand that mistakes happen, so we're not going to put you in Facebook jail. So I'm a free citizen. I was not incarcerated by Facebook prison.
No, the powers that be. That's fine.
I'm winning at life right now.
Is it still up on your story?
It is. It
I'll have
is.
to
It's
look- I'll
pretty
have to go look
funny.
at it.
It was my first time doing something like that. And let me tell you, definitely nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your mouth have to match the words.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So I
see
had
what
to
you're saying.
like,
Yeah. So you like lip dubbed it.
yeah, that's a challenge. This is way easier
Yeah.
for sure.
Because you have to memorize it very well.
So if you're afraid of podcasts and being on camera, but yet you do reels, that's
Yeah.
a fake fear.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying. It's a fake fear.
Yeah, that's very true. Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have not.
Have you been on any?
I have not.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your first?
Yeah, I'm a first timer with my trusted partner over here,
Very cool.
which I'm super pumped about.
Yeah, me too. That's awesome.
Who would have thought the conception of such a great opportunity on a rooftop in Jinx, America?
I know.
I love it.
Yeah,
Sounds like a perfect match.
I agree.
How's family? How are the holidays?
Good. Everything's going good.
Is all your Christmas shopping done?
I don't know. I'll have to ask my wife. Not sure.
You are so fortunate. And she's amazing. You probably all have matching pajama sets to do cute pictures in and all the things that I, in my mind, want to do and just don't.
Maybe. I don't know. We're not good at that type of stuff.
Really?
No.
Oh, good. That doesn't make me feel inadequate.
No, we're terrible.
Tell me how terrible, please. This
Like-
is where authenticity and honesty.
Yeah, like every night we forget about the Elf on the Shelf thing, and we're like, crap. Like we're laying in bed, like no, we got to get up and like, what should we do with him tonight? Because we got to put him somewhere else. Last night, he toilet papered the Christmas tree.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You know what's really sad? My kids are past that age. Their elf flew away to work for another child. And so, oddly enough, I did not like the 2 a.m. alarm set because I'd always wake up every day at 2 a.m.
Oh, that's dedication. We don't do that.
To make sure that it was magical for them, right?
Yeah.
And so now I find myself super saddened a little bit because I don't have that duty. You know, as much as I appreciate my sleep and value it, I really enjoyed having, you know, the little crock pot full of marshmallows and the Barbie doll, and it looked like the elf was having a pool party in my crock pot, except for the time that I put the crock pot on low and thought that was brilliant. And so then Elvis and all the Barbies had melty marshmallow on them, and that was a tragic disaster. So parents don't do that.
How did you clean that?
A lot of Dawn dish soap, scrubbing and soaking, and Elvis was wet. But you know, I used it as a great opportunity. So Elvis was wet because I had to like deal with the fact that Mom had a bad idea. So his next night, he was in the freezer, freezing his bottom half off. What? I mean, you just make it work. So then there was that.
Well, that's dedication if you're getting up at 2 a.m. We don't do that. We just do it before we go to bed.
Yeah. I was always afraid to get caught.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got caught, but like we'll go do it at like midnight and we'll be in bed, and then at like 12:30 she comes in the bedroom like, hey, and she gets up a few times every night, and we're like, you have to go to bed, and she's like, okay. So if she gets up, she sees it, and she saw the toilet paper on the tree last night. We were like, dang it. Yeah.
You should hit that 2 a.m. button.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I'll tell my
you
wife.
won't love it. I'll tell my wife. Don't you love that? Who got up to feeding at 2 a.m.?
Oh yeah.
The wife.
Yeah. I was out. Yeah.
No, I think this is going to be awesome. There's a lot of great things going on in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Have you checked out the lights at Guthrie Green yet?
No, I haven't. Or I haven't been to Rima either yet. I haven't done anything. Is Rima's in Tulsa, right?
Yeah, BA.
BA.
Yeah.
Same. Okay.
And I've been seeing a lot of posts on social media about Sepulpa. Sepulpa has like a whole downtown thing. I think Broken Arrow does too in the Rose District. So that's pretty cool. Roosevelt's has
Yeah.
all the stuff on the ceiling and what have yous.
What about the ice skating at the BOK? Is that up?
You know, I don't know. I will be downtown tonight because I'm going to check out Wellington Brewery, the little igloos.
Oh, yeah.
We're going there tonight. So I'm going to be checking out kind of what's cracking downtown.
Yeah.
So I'll know a little bit more about that. I'm not a big fan of ice skating downtown.
I mean, it's cold.
It's cold.
I've done it a few times.
And I'm, past the age of where falling on ice sounds fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to break a hip.
I don't fall. I'm really good at not falling, but I do go like 0 to 100. Like I try to go as fast as I can.
On the ice skating rink?
Yeah.
With little children there?
Yes.
And their mommies?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've never run into anybody, but yeah,
You're that guy.
I'm that guy.
Where I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
we're trying to have family fun here,
Yeah.
and you're over here speed skating.
Yeah.
Go to the hockey rink.
Yeah. I've done that before too in Moore when I lived in Norman. We had a
Mm-hmm.
birthday party at the ice skating rink or the hockey place. That was kind of cool.
What do they have like a hockey facility?
Yeah, so OU plays at it's not on campus. It's like not even in Norman. It's north of town in Moore, and it's literally an ice hockey like small arena.
That's super dope.
Yeah, and you can like rent it out. It's kind of cool.
I like that.
Yeah. a lot of
I
fun.
mean, I still don't like ice skating. Roller skating, yes. I'm all over that plan.
I do like roller skating.
We can definitely do a roller skating party
Dude,
sometime.
I haven't done that in a long time.
Can
It's
you
been-
backwards skate?
I don't know.
Oh,
Probably.
my backwards skating game is on point.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you do the 4 wheels or the blade?
I do
Skates,
the
you know
old
what I
school
mean?
4 wheels, bro. Yeah, I'm not trying to be on the.
I've done both. but-
No, I'm not. The whole heel to brake thing. No,
Mm,
I'm a front breaker.
mm,
Yeah.
okay.
If I'm gonna brake, I'm gonna drag that toe out.
That used to be such a bigger thing, right? Back
Mhm.
like not that long ago, like skating rinks and stuff.
No, that was a long time ago.
Was it?
I won't talk about my age, but I was there when I was in like junior high,
Mm,
which is a significant amount of time long ago.
interesting.
Like very significant.
And it was like music and lights.
We
and-
had all night lock-ins.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
My parents let me go once I was like in like 8th or 9th grade. They would let me go because I had like my cousins were all there. So
Mhm.
they had eyes on me.
Right.
But I remember being at the lock-in overnight. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
Minus the fact that at that age, like nobody had, I look back and I'm like, nobody had like sleeping supplies or brushing your teeth supplies.
Yeah.
Like we just literally skated. I mean, what a workout.
Could you imagine doing that now?
No.
Like just one staying up all night is not easy at all.
No, 10 o'clock is my bedtime.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Man,
Actually, 9. Okay,
I
I
have a-
lied. It's 9.
I have a hard time going to bed.
I don't. I like my 9-10 hours of sleep.
I would kill for that.
Hmm.
I fall asleep usually every night around 1 probably, and then up about 6:30 or so.
You know what's weird about sleep? Maybe we can get a sleep person to talk about this, but
I would love that.
on the times that I do go to sleep, like around midnight or, 1, when I get like 4 to 5 hours of sleep, I actually have way more energy than when I get 7 to 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yep, I've heard of that, and I've experienced that too before.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
So part of me is like, should I be just getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep? Because I'm like way more productive this way.
Yeah, I mean that's what I get. I like 4 or 5, sometimes 6 hours of sleep, but not by choice. I just can't go to sleep,
Yeah.
and I
the
wake up in
wheels.
the night. Yeah, and I do it to myself a little bit. Like I've been watching the Casey Anthony thing, and so like at night I've been watching that, which I'm so angry about watching that.
I
By the way,
haven't
have
watched
you watched
it. Not yet.
Were you familiar with the story
Uh-huh.
and everything?
Yeah. Is it pretty rough?
Yeah. I mean, it makes me not like her
Yeah.
a lot.
It's sad. There's a lot of crazy things going on. I was reading the tweet about the little 7-year-old girl. Like it makes me super sad that our world has become such a train wreck of a place.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to say that.
I mean, yeah, it has.
So.
And we just know about more things now because of social media.
Social media and media and all the things and such.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of like there was a back and forth with me about watching the Dahmer thing, right? So the psychology side of my brain, that's what I studied in college. The psychology side of my brain was intrigued by there has to be like a psychological explanation for the behaviors and the disregard of human, like there was this whole psychology standpoint that was intriguing to me. Yeah. But then there was a whole moral compass part where I'm like, I do not want to support anything that, you know, in either way. And so I ended up watching it because of course the psychology part, I'm like, I've got to know this dude's past. I want to know like why in the world
why is he wired that way?
Is somebody so wired to be so careless with lives? Like, and then I started watching. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it.
Holy macaroni. Yes. Because then I'm like, you see about his family history and I'm like, well, it's no wonder the poor fella is a hot mess express, for lack of a better explanation.
Yeah. I mean, that's usually, you learn some like troubling things about their past and their family. Same with the Casey Anthony thing. You learn about her family a little bit and you're like, oh wow, didn't realize there was a lot of trauma there.
So it makes you, as parents, I mean, there's no rule book to being parents, but it, for me, looking at things and going, you know, wow, it really, like, you can, I'm sure his dad had the best of intentions, but then you learn more about his dad and you're like, no, he was actually like, he was that way too.
Really?
And so I'm like, is it genetic? So now my whole brain goes down the rabbit hole of, is this a genetic disposition for pure disregard for human form? I don't know.
Interesting. Did his dad kill anybody?
No, but his dad had thought. So it goes into the part where his dad admits to him later on in life, like, I actually had these same thoughts. I just didn't do it.
Whoa.
And his dad was like taking him and picking up roadkill and harvesting it. And it was a whole thing. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a little bit about TV
Yeah.
and the things we've gone through. While we're on here, let's talk a little real estate.
Okay.
Probably the part that most people want to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I've noticed it's slowed down.
Yeah.
A little bit. And this is a weird year. I saw a stat from someone I know. I saw who was it? I think it was William Gomez who was talking on his little podcast.
Yes.
There's like, I don't know if, I can't remember. I'm going to butcher it. But say there's like 800,000 realtors in the country. Only like 200,000 of them have closed on a deal this year. So like a quarter of agents in the country have done work.
Yeah.
And it's just because of how the market is. It's so crazy.
Yeah, him and Alfredo have a really good podcast. They talk about some great things. So if you guys have a chance, definitely check that out as well.
Yeah.
The market, I think, you know, obviously everyone knows the interest rates are up. That has people feeling some kind of way. But I am, like, a lot of our realtors are starting to display fear or concern because the market is slowing down. But I really want to encourage, you know, everyone to understand, like, aside from COVID, that the whole 2 years that like disrupted everyone's normal life, normal processes. If we roll back 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, the slowdown in the market is not abnormal.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to say it again. The slowdown in the market is not abnormal. When we look at our patterns, because patterns don't lie, right? We always see the slowdown in the November, December months, except for 2020, right? You know, through the whole COVID thing, right? Which was
interest rates were like zero.
Yeah, I mean, we were down to what, 2.1%, you know, unrealistic for our economy to be sustained. So when people are like, "Oh my gosh, the rates," I always, you know, look at the nationwide rates.
Right.
Like, we're on par.
Mm-hmm.
We're on par to create healthy economy. We're on par for a national average. Like, we were in an abnormal 2 years,
Yes.
everyone. And so if people just came onto the scene during that time, this is freaking them out.
Right. Well, and people like in my generation buying houses in the last, 5 years, that was our normal.
Mm-hmm.
We just got normal to a very unique time.
Right.
But now I think that it's not even a new normal we're moving into. I think we're just getting back to the actual normal.
Right.
Which is like, 8 to 10% interest rates on mortgages. And, I feel like everything will level out too. I feel like house prices got kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll come down. Do you think they'll come down at all? Or do you think they're just kind of where they're at now?
I think they're where they're at. I think because the way the market's naturally starting to level itself
Mm-hmm.
out, there's more negotiation room.
Sure.
And people are not being so cut and dry with things. They're willing to kind of go back to negotiations. I know that we're seeing incentives for like, hey, we'll concede to some closing costs, or we'll help with repairs. Whereas the last 2 years, it was like, no, you're going to take it right here and you're going to offer $20,000 more than what it
Right.
is.
Right.
That was a whole different beast. And so getting people to get out of that, like, that was maybe a once in a lifetime situationship. Like, you cannot compare anything else to that ever.
Yep.
So I think that as we go through this, people have got to understand what normal really is. I know a lot of the people are like, what am I going to do about getting business? What am I going to do about getting leads? And one of the things that people have to understand is good old fashioned work.
Yeah.
Push the pavement.
I mean, for a couple years, anybody could be a real estate agent.
And anybody was.
And and anyone could sell a house. Anyone could list a house and sell it for $30,000 over, and you look like a genius. So again, people that stepped into real estate in that time, maybe they see that as like, oh, this is how it is.
Yeah.
So now we're getting to the point where it's like, well, there's a lot more hustling involved, I'm sure. I'm not a realtor, but I would imagine you have to make a very concerted effort to stay top of mind.
Absolutely.
In your circle, and stay on social media, and beat the streets. Like, I'm sure it's not easy. And
that's where I think, hopefully Trent coming in here, and even as a real estate agent, come in here, have a conversation, with Trent and I. Tell us about, the neighborhoods that you serve, or the community you serve, or the non-for-profit you serve, and let us help you get some content that's different than just posting the thing that says, hey, I'm a realtor, and this is what, Don't be so inside the box. Get creative. Or if you don't know how to get creative, come meet with Trent and I, and let us talk to you about how to navigate your content in your social media world. Yeah. You don't want to get caught in that sort of like echo chamber of like just doing what everyone else is doing, just because that seems to be like how all other real estate agents are marketing themselves. I'll just do the same thing, jump on Canva, make a graphic, and put it out there. Most people don't care. Yeah. Like most people, usually realtors are marketing to other realtors. I find that a lot. Like tell me more about that. Their target audience is real estate agents, but they don't necessarily realize that, I think. Okay. Because if you're, John Smith, and you're at work on your computer, you're not going to be in that little real estate echo chamber. The bubble. When you get on Facebook. And if you do see some kind of like, I sold 4.3 million in 2021, they're just going to keep scrolling, one, because they don't know if what that even means, what it means or anything, or if it's significant, or if it's impressive, or they just don't care. They don't care about real estate. They care about whatever job they have. Right. So when it comes to selling their house, they're just going to, a lot of people just do like a quick Google search, or, oh, I know my uncle, I think he has his license, I'll have him do it, or, so it's, I feel like you get caught up in marketing yourself to other agents just because it's the industry. Yeah. So what I hear you saying is like making things more relative to the common person, super helpful. I will say, I won't give the name, but there was a realtor who posted like, hey, here are the things that you need to do to winterize your home. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Single mom in my home.
Right.
I've only been in the house less than 2 years. Didn't know I should be doing these things. That spoke volumes
Yeah.
to me as a homeowner who, you know, I'm a chick. I wouldn't think that I need to have my fireplace checked after 2 years, but I should. I didn't know that I need to have someone come and check the heater thing. Like, I don't even know what to call it, the heater thing, and make sure it's all working order.
Right.
You know, and so that was a helpful, relatable that made me stop and actually read the realtor's information, because I was like, thank you.
That's good. It provided some value. So you actually looked into it. Yeah.
So on your post, we're saying, first of all, let's provide a different thing other than just a Canva, hey, I'm a realtor, check me out.
Yeah.
I can sell your home. Let's do some different type of content. I think, you know, what we're doing with short clips and things like that, awesome, because it allows more than just your, you know, what is it when they just do their own reels and things like that? That's fine. But to have the professional shot is a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, say you have a funny story about something your daughter did, and it's a 15-second clip, and it goes out on Facebook. That target audience is going to be normal people. They might think it's funny or whatever, and then they click on you, and lo and behold, you're a real estate agent. They just learned you. They don't need to learn your real. It shouldn't be in their face.
Right.
You need to be trying to relate to people, and they need to like you. You need to be relatable first, and then business comes second. You can't just shove real estate down people's throats.
I think when people are talking about, like, how do I get leads? I'm like, well, let's ask the infamous question of, what do you do in a day? So, like, what do you do in a week? Do your kids, are they in Girl Scouts? There's a COI.
Right.
Does your kid play basketball? There's a COI.
Right.
Do you go to church? There's a COI.
Right.
Do you have a favorite coffee shop? There's a COI.
Yep.
Use your day-to-day life as you're walking through, as every place that you normally would go, as an opportunity to create a relationship that's deeper than just, hey, thanks for my mocha latte frappuccino.
Yeah. That's a really good way to look at it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when you're sitting there at, you know, a dreaded cheer practice, speaking from, no, I'm just kidding. But when you're at a cheer practice, there's all these moms and parents and people, and most of the time their noses down, you know, in the phone, doing whatever. Have a conversation. Use that as your COI.
Yeah.
Build that relationship, because there's about 25 people sitting, you know, at the gym my daughter goes to. There's like 25, 30 parents up there.
Yep. Odds are one family. I
promise you, at least one's a realtor. Promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at least one is thinking maybe they should sell their house.
Yeah. Or one's a lender, you know. And my thing is if you're a lender, you even using that opportunity, you know, to say, you know, I wonder how many of those people are renting homes.
Right.
And throwing away rental money instead of investing it into their own home and their own life and their own, you know, everything.
Yep.
They're throwing away and giving a landlord some pocket money as well as paying his bill.
Yeah. And rent's crazy.
Rent is nuts.
Rent's crazy, especially compared to what a mortgage would be. You know, and people talk about, you know, 6, 7, 8% interest rates. And I know you see this probably on social media all the time, where it's like, if you're renting, you're paying 100% interest, you know, but it's true. Like, you know, that gets said a lot, but it's true.
Yeah.
And you're paying way more than you would.
Well, and I don't think people understand how, you know, there's this thing of like, I'm not going to qualify. I'm not, you know, you don't know that until you try that.
Yeah.
And there's so many great lenders out there that have so many different programs that allow so many different opportunities for people to become homeowners.
Yes.
Not to mention, if you can't, maybe your score is, you know, close to whatever it needs to be, but something as simple as them working with you and saying, hey, if you pay off this credit card, your credit score is going to go up this many points. A lot of people just don't know that it really could be something very simple.
I think a lot of people think they need to know. Like, it's an unknown thing. They don't get to peek behind the veil and understand how it all works, so they're just kind of scared of it. But that's why lenders exist, is they can break your stuff down, and they will know exactly what will happen to your score if you do this or this. Like, they can help, like, finagle your finances so that you can get into a house and get pre-approved. So yeah, that's The lenders are incredible.
What I love with a lot of our lenders too is like if you're, let's just say you're paying $2,100 for a 2-bedroom apartment in wherever in here in Tulsa, which if you're getting it at that, I mean, that's probably pretty average, an average number. But if you say, listen, we're paying $2,100 for a 2-bedroom apartment, you tell a lender, like, we're comfortable with the $2,100 payment. Like, that's okay. You don't realize that you could quite possibly be in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a yard and, I don't know, throw a hot tub back there because you like it situation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, heck, $2,000 a month would put you in a
pretty decent home.
Yeah, more than decent. Yeah, a good home.
Yeah. So I encourage people, you know, to stop buying into this false narrative that we're in such a bad position. We're really not. We're in a normalizing market.
Right.
And we're all going to get through it. It's all going to be okay. Everyone needs to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And just realize that COVID created a false reality that a lot of us were in.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you were you were new to things.
Yeah.
At that time.
So don't be afraid. If you guys need help, you know, you can always reach out to me and Trent. We'll definitely sit down and visit with you. And if we don't know the answer, I promise you, between the both of us, we have someone in our pocket that definitely does.
Sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Coaching and mentoring is probably the thing that you and I are definitely both passionate about.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
So helping people navigate through their fears and debunking their fears, really.
Yep.
So.
Well said.
Thanks, bro.
So, I mean, anything else you want to talk about, or should we wrap up? How long have we been going? It's like 47 minutes.
I mean, that's hashtag winning.
I honestly thought we would record for like 20 minutes.
No, we've been killing it over here.
Yeah.
I think that wraps up. I think we've got some good content to move forward.
I think so too.
And so before we sign off, I just want to say thank you for joining us at the one, the only Tulsa Uncut.
Love it.
Powered by PMC and Titan Title.
Perfect. And then I'll throw the email up to contact us.
I like it.
All right. See ya.